Zamboanga City is a highly urbanized city located in Mindanao, Philippines. It has a population of 807,129 people as of the 1st of May 2010 census. Zamboanga is the sixth most populous and third largest city by land area in the Philippines. It is the commercial and industrial center of the Zamboanga Peninsula region. For historical and statistical purposes, Zamboanga City is grouped with the province of Zamboanga del Sur, of which it formerly was the capital, but governed independently from the province. Zamboanga used to be known as Jambangan in the Sabanan language and was the center of the Sabanan culture during the pre-Hispanic times. After independence from Spain in May 1899, Zamboanga became the Republic of Zamboanga with Zamboangano Chavacano as its official language and Spanish as its co-official language. After American intervention, the republic incorporated into the Philippines and became the capital of the former Moro province, now Mindanao, from 1903 to 1913. On October 12, 1936, Zamboanga became a chartered city under Commonwealth Act No. 39. It was formally inaugurated on February 26, 1937, which was declared a local holiday. Known for Hispanic influences in its culture, it bears the nickname Asia's Latin City. History: Zamboanga was founded in the late 12th or early 13th century, with the earliest people living there being the Sabanan people, an indigenous tribe of the island Mindanao. The Sabanan people's name for Zamboanga, Sung Lupa, means pointed land. Speculation that the name of Zamboanga comes from the word Jambangan Bunga, meaning bouquet, vase of flowers, or the garden, land of flowers, is met by others insisting the name derives from the word saguan, or sambuan, a Malay word for the paddle used by natives to paddle the vintas in the sea. Another possible origin is sambone, which refers to herbal plants that grew abundantly in the city. Bajau, Samal, Tausug and the Yakan tribes from Malayan descent settled in the same part of Mindanao in the early 14th century. Islam gained predominance in the early 14th century in the Philippines. Spanish rule: Spanish explorers arrived in the Philippine archipelago in 1521. In 1569, Zamboanga was chosen as the site of the Spanish settlement and garrison on La Caldera. Zamboanga was one of the main strongholds in Mindanao, supporting colonizing efforts in the south of the island and making way for Christian settlements. It also served as a military outpost, protecting the island against foreign invaders and Moro pirates. After having abandoned the city, the Spaniards, as well as some Latin American mercenaries from Peru and Mexico, joined forces with troops from Pampanga and Visayan soldiers and reached the shore of Zamboanga to bring peace to the island against Moro pirates. Zamboanga became the main headquarters of the Spaniards on June 23, 1635 upon approval of King Philip IV of Spain, and the Spanish officially founded the city. Thousands of Spanish troops headed by a governor-general from Spain took the approval to build the first Zamboanga fortress in Zamboanga to forestall enemies in Mindanao like Moro pirates and other foreign invaders. The Zamboanga fortress became the main focus of a number of battles between Moros and Spaniards while the Spanish ruled the region from 16th to 18th centuries. Spain was forced to abandon Zamboanga temporarily and withdraw its soldiers to Manila in 1662 after the Chinese under Coxinga threatened to invade the Spanish Philippines. While the region was already dominated by Catholicism, Muslims kept up a protracted struggle against the ruling Spaniards in the country into the 18th century. In January 1798, a British naval squadron conducted a raid on Zamboanga, but was driven off by the city's defensive fortifications. In 1831, the custom house in Zamboanga was established as a port, and it became the main port for direct communication, trading some goods and other services to most of Europe, Southeast Asia and Latin America. The Americans arrived in the Philippines headed by General Weyler with thousands of troops to defeat the Spaniards who ruled it more than 3 centuries. The Spanish government sent more than 80,000 Spanish troops to the Philippines. The Spanish government completely and peacefully surrendered the islands to the United States in the 1890s. Republic of Zamboanga. Before the end of the 19th century, the Republic of Zamboanga was established during the American period in the Philippines from May 18, 1899 until March 1903. The first president of the Republic of Zamboanga was General Vicente Alvarez, who was succeeded by Isidoro Middle and Mariano Urquiza. Early 20th century. Upon the firm establishment of American colonization and dissolution of the Republic in 1903, Zamboanga, as a municipality, was placed under the Moro Province, a semi-military government consisting of 5 districts: Zamboanga, Cotabato, Davao, Lanao and Sulu. During this period, Zamboanga hosted a number of American regional governors, including General John J. Pershing, who was military commander, governor of the Moro Province from 1909 to 1914. In 1920, Zamboanga ceased to be Mindanao's capital city when the department was divided into provinces, in which the city became under the large province of Zamboanga. It encompasses the present-day Zamboanga Peninsula with the inclusion of the whole province of Basilan. Soon after the establishment of the Commonwealth, it established itself the center of commerce, trade, and government of Mindanao Island as the capital of the Moro Province. The 1936 City Charter and the Commonwealth. When the Commonwealth government was established in 1935, calls to convert Zamboanga into a city increased. On September 23, 1936, through Assemblyman Juan Alano, the National Assembly of the Philippines passed Commonwealth Act No. 39, making Zamboanga a chartered city consisting of the present territorial jurisdiction of the municipality of Zamboanga, the municipality of Bolong, the municipal district of Taluk Sangay, the whole island of Basilan and the adjacent islands, i.e., the municipality of Isabela, the municipal district of Lamitan, and the municipal district of Maluso. It was later signed by President Manuel Quezon in October 12, 1936. The charter made Zamboanga City as the largest city in the world in terms of land area. During these times, Zamboanga was the leading commercial and industrial city of Mindanao. Before World War II, Petit Barracks, a part of the U.S. Army's 43d Infantry Regiment, was stationed there. World War II. When the Japanese invaded the Philippines, they were headed by Vice Admiral Tsukiyama Rokuzo, accompanied by Rear Admiral Narozaburo Irifuna. The Japanese landed at Zamboanga on March 2, 1942. The city government was reverted to a municipality with Carlos Camins as its mayor. They established a defense headquarters in the city and controlled the government for over 2 years. The Japanese government in the city was overthrown by American and Filipino forces following a fierce battle that occurred on March 10 to 12, 1945. Post-World War II. After the war, new problems arose, especially for the citizens of the island of Basilan. The people there found it difficult to appear in courts, pay their taxes, seek help from the mayor and other officials. Going from Basilan to the mainland required 3 or more hours of travel. To fix the problem, Representative Juan Alano filed a bill in Congress to separate Basilan from Zamboanga. So the island of Basilan was proclaimed a separate city through Republic Act No. 288 on July 16, 1948. In April 7, 1953, by virtue of Republic Act No. 840, in April 29, 1955, a special law changed the landscape of the city government when Republic Act No. 1210 amended the city charter that made elective the position of city mayor and the creation of an elective vice mayor and 8 elective city councillors. The vice mayor is the presiding officer of the city council. In November 1955, Liberal Party candidate Cesar Climaco with his running mate, Thomas Farrell, won the first local elections. They were inducted into office on January 1, 1956 as determined by the revised election code. Martial law years. On September 21, 1972, President Ferdinand Marcos signed Proclamation No. 1081 placing the Philippines under martial law. The local government became under presidential control for the first time since 1955. Marcos extended Enriquez's term when the latter's tenure was about to end in 1975. During this time, Enriquez was able to garner funds to construct the Star Cruz Public Market and emergency hospitals in rural barangays such as Quiniput and Labuan. In November 14, 1975, President Marcos reorganized the local government, in which the city council was replaced by a Sangguniang Panglungsod with the mayor as its new presiding officer and members including the vice mayor, the chairman of the Katipunan ng Mga Kabatang Barangay, the president of the Association of Barangay Captains, and sectoral representatives of agriculture, business and labor. When Mayor Enriquez resigned and bid for the newly created interim Batasang Pambansa in 1978, Vice Mayor Jose Vicente Atalano II was appointed by President Marcos to replace him. Climaco's return. In 1980, Cesar Climaco staged his political comeback when he was elected again to the mayoral post under his new party, the Concerned Citizens Aggregation. He had gone into exile to the United States in protest against Marcos' declaration of martial law. In 1984, Climaco was elected a member of the regular Batasang Pambansa. Climaco, however, declined to assume his seat until he had completed his 6-year term as mayor in his consistent protest against Marcos. Post-Marcos era. Later in that year, to unite the Zamboanganos, President of Quino appointed former Mayor Climaco's son, Julio Cesar Climaco, to be officer in charge of the city. Varela returned to his post as city administrator. During his short term, Climaco invited the rebel secessionist organization Moro National Liberation Front headed by its chairman Narulaji Masuari to Zamboanga, a move which came after the controversial meeting between President of Quino and Masuari in Sulu. There was not much to accomplish during this time, in which the city government did not have the sufficient funds to undertake any major projects, and there were no funds coming from the national government, which at that time was more concerned with doing an accounting of money allegedly taken by the Marcos administration. He was, nevertheless, responsible for the concreting of the roads from Gov. Ramos to the Zamboanga International Airport, and the concreting of the road from Sutaville to Balawasan. When the new constitution was approved by a plebiscite in February 2, 1987, local elections were held. Climaco resigned to run for the congressional seat and President of Quino appointed Councilor Vitaliano Agon to be acting officer in charge, in which was the candidate for the mayorship. Agon won, but Climaco lost to Maria Clara Lobregat. Agon administration. Vitaliano Agon, born in Lanao del Norte, was the first non-Chavacano elected mayor of the city. During his stint in office, he prioritized the construction of high schools in the major barangays of the city, construction of concrete major roads, street lighting and traffic lights were done during this time. Through these accomplishments, he was re-elected in 1992 and in 1995. It was also in his time when the massive Joaquin F. Enriquez Memorial Sports Complex started its construction. In 1990, Zamboanga City was declared the commercial and industrial center of the Western Mindanao region. 21st century. On November 19, 2001, the Kabatangan Government Complex in Barangay Kabatangan, the seat of the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao, was raided by former MNLF fighters in protest of Masuari's ouster as governor of the autonomous region, in which they took residents hostage. The complex also houses the different regional government offices such as the Commission on Audit, Population Commission, Civil Service Commission, Area Vocational Rehabilitation Center, DEX Training Center and the Zamboanga Arturo Eustaquio College Department of Criminology. An airstrike by the military began on November 27, in which the hostages were later released after the government agreed to escort the rebels to a safe zone in Panibigan where they were allowed to go free. Mayor Erico Bizilia Fabian decided to run for the congressional seat in the 2004 local elections in turn. Incumbent Celso Llobregat ran for the mayorship in which he won, pitting against businessman Lepeng Wee. Llobregat pursued ground infrastructure projects including the rehabilitation of Plaza Pershing and Paisonanza Park, in which he added Jardin Maria Clara, in the memory of his mother, construction of Paseo del Mar and the erection of uniformed barangay halls around the city. He was re-elected twice in 2007 and 2010. In 2007, the city was divided into two legislative districts pursuant to Republic Act No. 9269. The city therefore is entitled to two representatives to the National Congress. District I Representative Maria Isabel Climaco Salazar, niece of former Mayor Cesar Climaco, was elected as the second woman mayor of the city during the 2013 local elections. Zamboanga City crisis. On September 9, 2013, a faction of the Moro National Liberation Front under the leadership of Enuama Suari seized hostages in Zamboanga and attempted to raise the flag of the self-proclaimed Bangsamoro Republic, a state which declared its independence earlier in August, into Lipeo, Sulu. This armed incursion has been met by the armed forces of the Philippines, which seeks to free the hostages and expel the MNLF from the city. The standoff degenerated into urban warfare, and brought parts of the city under standstill for days. Mayor Climaco Salazar and her administration are relocating the internal displaced persons affected by the crisis to transitory sites and later permanent housings in various places around the city. Her rehabilitation plan, Zamboanga City Roadmap to Recovery and Rehabilitation, envisions building back a better Zamboanga City and rehabilitating the areas affected by the crisis. Geography. Geology. The southwest and eastern sides of Zamboanga are bounded by irregular coastlines with generally rocky terrain and occasional stretches of sandy or gravelly beaches. The coastal profile usually descends abruptly towards the sea. Where rivers enter the sea, bays have formed, and the surrounding area has filled up with alluvial soils, producing small to large coastal plains. Topography. The overall topography of the city could be described as rolling to very steep. There are some flatlands, mostly narrow strips along the east coast. The urban center is mostly flat with a gentle slope to the interior, ranging from 0 to 3%. The highest registered elevation is 1,200 meters. In terms of slope, a large portion of Zamboanga, about 38,000 hectares, have slopes ranging from 18 to 30%. Another 26,000 hectares have been described as having slopes PF less than 3%, while about 37% of the area, or a total of 52,000 hectares, have slopes ranging from 30% to more than 50%. Climate. Zamboanga features a tropical wet and dry climate under the Köppen climate classification. Barangays. The city is politically subdivided into 98 barangays or barrios. These are grouped into two congressional districts, with 38 barangays or barrios in the west coast and 60 barangays or barrios in the east coast. District I. Balawasan, Ayala, Star, Maria, Balino, Cabatangan, Calarian, Camino Nuevo, Campo Islam, Cainla, Capasan, Coit, Dulian Paisonanza, Casanyangan, La Paz, Labuan, Lamasahan, Limpapa, Masin, Malagute, Pamucatan, Paisonanza, Patalon, Recodo, Lower Calarian, Sutaville, Rio Hondo, San Jose Cauacaua, San Jose Gusu, San Ramon, San Roque, Sinunic, Sinabong, Star, Barbara, Star, Maria, Stowe, Nino, Talasian, Tulungatung, Tumagar, Zone I, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone IV, District 2 Arena Blanco, Bolan, Bolong, Buena Vista, Bunguiao, Busay, Cabalue, Cacao, Calabasa, Culianan, Curuin, Dita, Divisoria, Dulian Bunguiao, Guisaro, Guiwan, Landangua, Landang Lam, Lanzones, Lapacon, Lachan Curuin, Likomo, Limaome, Lubagan, Lumayang, Lumbangan, Lunzoran, Mampang, Minalipa, Manakahan, Mangasu, Mariki, Mercedes, Muti, Pangapuyan, Panyabugan, Pasalmanta, Pasabalong, Putik, Quiniput, Salan, Sangali, Sibulau Curuin, Star, Catalina, Tagasale, Tagata, Taliban, Talantalan, Taluk-Sangay, Tetuan, Tiktaful, Tigbalabag, Titabon, Tolosa, Tugbungan, Chumalutab, Chumatis, Victoria, Vitali, Zambowood,